Christmas, everyone! Good morning, welcome to Morning Devotion. To start off, let's offer a vow to our Heavenly Parent and true parent. 선진 사모님께 경배! 바로! And now to lead us through the family pledge, I'd like to invite up Reverend Milhan Stevens.
Thank you, Santa. I've always believed in you. 가정맹세 1. 처녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 처녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 처녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 처녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 처녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 처녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 처녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 처녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 처녀극 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you very much, Milhan Stevens. And now to open us up in prayer, I'd like to invite up one of our best from the land of Vermont, Ibrahim Hamed.
Okay, join me in prayer. Good morning, everyone, and Merry Christmas. Dearly Heavenly Parent, thank you for this day and for this beautiful smile that we have today. We know that when you created Adam and Eve, you were very happy and excited about this creation. Even though they failed you and they went in a different direction, you never give up on us, and you, after a long time, you prepared everything and you give orders to create Jesus Christ for the second time and Adam for the second time, and you are also very excited, and we failed you again and again, and you never give up on us. And now we are in the time of our true parent, the victorious one, that they change our lineage by blessing. We thank you for everything. Now we are celebrating Jesus Christ day and Christmas Day, and we are celebrating and we are happy moving forward to this era and to open the door for all humanity to come back to you. We thank you for opening the door for us, and we are trying to march forward. And we thank you for this morning devotion and for Dr. Young being here in the United States. We need Dr. Young in the United States, and we need Dr. Young in every place. We need someone like him in this world. We thank you for this morning devotion and for the leaders for the United States. We thank you for the Nawakimi and for Milhan and for everyone who worked hardly during this time. We thank you and we are grateful for everything that you are prepared for us. We will do whatever it takes to open the door for all humanity to come back to you by the blessing them. I offer this prayer in my name, Ibrahim Khidr Hamidan, Asma Abunai, for the blessed center of family. I choose.
Drew. Drew, thank you so much for such a beautiful, heartfelt prayer, Ibrahim. All right, brothers and sisters, we're going to be going on to our gratitude sharing for today. Please go into your breakout rooms, share what you're grateful for. It's Christmas Day, so I hope you have plenty of things to talk about. We only have 7 minutes. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back from your breakouts. I hope you had a wonderful time sharing with each other. I had a great time with Tomiko-san and Koa Shirotori, and I'd like to call on Koa, always the bright and the best of them all. Koa, if you could please unmute and share with us your gratitude points this morning.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Merry Christmas, y'all. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I felt so blessed. I was with Santa Claus. And look at how much effort he put in for today. I was inspired by his Jung song. My gratitude point was last night, my mom and my grandpa and I, we were able to watch the movie It's a Wonderful Life, and just about a character who really sacrifices everything to either save like one person or the other or the whole town, or even to the point of trying to anyway, you got to watch the movie. But at one point he's going to make kind of a really bad decision, but God knows his heart, so he sends an angel to help him and show him that he makes this wish of like, I wish I had never been born, it would have been better. And the angel is able to grant him his wish and show him what it would be like if he hadn't been born, and just shows how incredibly, and everything, all his town is just completely just in a bad state, and he sees how wrong it would be how wrong it would be if he hadn't been born. So just showing the importance of life. And if you hadn't seen it yet, please watch that movie. Santa Claus hadn't seen that movie yet, right? So if you so yeah, It's a Wonderful Life. It's a beautiful movie. Being ultimate gratitude point. So yeah, and Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. Thank you.
It's a wonderful life having you around, Koa. Thank you for sharing so beautifully this morning.
Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call on, they were one of the first people to join in today's morning devotion. Maybe they were waiting to catch Santa down the chimney. But I'd like to call on Yoko and Agnes Ngoma to share with us their gratitude points today.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm grateful for Christmas Day. Today is Jesus' birthday, and then we are preparing for Jesus' birthday celebration. Agnes is baking cake, and then I Google it and what kind of food Jesus was eating, and then I bought lamb, and then I'm trying to bake I forgot, kind of like a bread when Jesus was eating, and then latkes, like a Jewish food, and then I don't know what kind of food he really was eating, but I'm just trying to celebrate his birthday, and then I'm trying to sing holy song for Jesus. And then my kids are preparing for like PowerPoint for Jesus. Yeah, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yoko. Let's go to Agnes.
I'm grateful that I was able to wake up today, because usually me and my siblings we only watch morning devotion after it finishes, and we also we have like friends that we usually share with later on in the day through Mondays and Thursdays, and to Mondays to Thursdays, from Mondays to Thursdays. And I'm grateful that I was able to wake up on Christmas. I was able to wake up early, so I joined with my mom today.
Thank you so much, Agnes, for waking up this morning. You just might make it on the list to get a gift sometime today. All right, brothers and sisters. Now is the time, as you have noticed. Dr. Yong is in Australia, and it's summertime, so that means they're on a different time. So he is not able to be here today. But in the spirit of Christmas, he sent us a gift in the form of a recording of morning devotion. So let's open our hearts and our minds to receive our heavenly inspiration today through our beloved Dr. Yong.
안녕하세요. Good morning. Good morning. My dear brothers and sisters, clergy and members of peace, 안녕하십니까? Today, I'd like to talk about holy wedding and a new resolution from True Mother's anthology to one. I'd like to invite our heavenly honey. Please read.
Holy wedding and a new resolution. Though heaven created an environment where he could send the Messiah of the second coming through righteous people, Christianity did not know about this providence. Nonetheless, April 11, 1960 is the day on which the only begotten son and only begotten daughter, born without original sin, overcame innumerable difficulties and held the marriage supper of the Lamb in accordance with heaven's will. That day became a day of glory for heaven and a day of joy and hope for humanity. When I was 16 years old, I received God's summons and immediately made a decision. If I do not do this, the wearisome, providential history of restoration through indemnity, which is full of bitter pain, will not end. Thus, I resolved to succeed without fail. That was 1960, the year of True Parents' holy wedding. You learned this in your lectures. Isn't that right? You probably heard about True Mother's 7-year course in the principle. This 7-year course was my path to prepare a foundation of victory by which the 6,000-year providential history that Eve had lost could be restored through indemnity. If I had been unable to complete this, God's day could not have been established. No one can replace True Mother's history. Therefore, I took initiative and set an example by fulfilling what I had to do providentially. Do you know that Foundation Day was on the 13th day of the first month by the heavenly calendar in 2013? As we already had God's Day, what did we establish Foundation Day on the 13th? 13 is an important number. In the story of God's creation of the world, the Bible starts out by saying, there was evening and there was morning. In providential history, there is creation on the 12th and a day of rest on the 13th. So 13 is an important number. Searching for the lost number 13 is part of True Parents' providential history. Because of this, I bore 14 children, going beyond the number 13. In the ages of history, especially in Old Testament providential history, many numbers appear. As the true mother, I united these numbers. I made them into one. This is one of my greatest achievements as true mother.
Thank you. Today, let's study together with you about the meaning of True Parents' holy marriage. These words are from the Chambumodium. Please.
The holy wedding and the marriage supper of the Lamb. The marriage supper of the Lamb prophesied in chapter 19 of the book of Revelation was realized through the holy wedding of the true parents. This was the fulfillment of the book of Revelation, whereby Adam and Eve, whose fall from grace is recorded in the book of Genesis, were recovered. The Messiah is the returning Lord, whom God sent to earth in the last days of human history as the third Adam. along with the spouse God had found for him, who is the third Eve and the embodiment of the Holy Spirit.
Yes. Here in Chambumo, Yong True Mother is expressed as the third Eve and the embodiment of the Holy Spirit. However, according to True Mother's words, True Mother herself is the only begotten daughter of God on this earth. She said that she was the first coming. She talked to me when she came to Las Vegas. Very clearly mentioned to me over and over few times. She said, I am not second coming. I am first coming. Wow. What we need to know for sure here is that true Father is the second coming. Who is the first coming? Our first coming is Jesus. And true Father is the second coming. And our beloved Jesus could not marry. So he could not find, Jesus' spouse. But true mother is the first coming. It is that true mother appeared as the first completed woman in God's human history. We met a woman who completed it for the first time, and we are living in a relationship with the woman who completed it. We need to know how precious true mother is. Wow, incredible. Not just only she came as the God's only begotten daughter, she already had a holy wedding ceremony with the true father. She completed her mother's mission. How much we are lucky we are living together with our true mother. Continue.
The holy wedding of true parents was the ceremony in which God blessed them as true husband and wife and as the true ancestors of humankind. Because human beings were born wrongfully, they need to be reborn. For this, they absolutely need true parents. On the basis of the holy wedding of the true parents, restoration through indemnity could proceed beyond the top of the growth stage in the growing period, the level at which Adam and Eve fell and became the false parents, going beyond the point at which Jesus faced the disbelief of the chosen people of Israel and was made to shoulder the cross. True Parents' Holy Wedding, held on April 11, 1960, was the historic moment when the history of restoration through indemnity climbed over the mountain of indemnity at the completion level of the growth stage. The Holy Wedding of True Parents was a global and cosmic event. True Father, who came as the perfected Adam on the foundation of the long history of the providence, laid the foundation on earth to receive True Mother, the original Eve. True Father represents heaven, True Mother represents earth, and their union finally connected the spiritual world and the physical world, which had been divided. Finally, the standard required to break down the wall that had separated Adam and Eve from God had been met.
Thank you. Living divine principle. Today, I'd like to talk about based upon universal prime energy. So, how to apply, this principle, universal prime energy. Many people not easy to understand, this terminology, universal prime energy. Actually, this is very simple content. So, how can we apply to our daily life? So let's study first from EDP.
Section 2, Universal Prime Energy, Give and Take Action, and the 4-Position Foundation. God, the creator of all things, is the absolute reality, eternal, self-existent, and transcendent of time and space. The fundamental energy of God's being is also eternal, self-existent, and absolute. It is the origin of all energies and forces that allow created beings to exist. We call this fundamental energy universal prime energy.
Yeah, we are talking about the universal prime energy. The fundamental eternal self-existing power that makes it possible for God to exist. And the origin of the power that creates the energy that makes it possible for all the things in the created world to exist. So God himself, to exist, he needs to have energy and power. That is a universal prime energy, we call it. Also as a human being, as all things, to exist, need to have a certain power and energy. We call it universal prime energy. Whoever has given and taken with God will receive universal prime energy from God, giving them the power to exist eternally. This means that all through the course of our life, we must have a give and take with God to receive the fundamental energy like from God. God needs power for the universe to move and also for me to move. And you need to power to work. You need to power to eat. You need to power to breathe. All of these are universal prime energy. When I speak to you, I need to have energy. Without power, I cannot talk to you. This energy comes from where? This energy comes from universal prime energy. Then what does God's universal prime energy consist of? It is God's love and God's heart. The origin of the power that can move the universe is precisely the power of God's love and God's heart. Universal prime energy consists of love and heart, which means that the external expression of love and heart is a universal prime energy. Wow. I really inspired by this, my brothers and sisters. Therefore, the greatest power in this world is the power of love and heart. Nothing is impossible in what we do, because when we give and receive with God, we inherit unimaginable love and power of heart. Fallen world, the region people struggle and cannot overcome is because they have not inherited the power of God's love. When you give and receive with God, the inner power of eternal love appears as an unimaginable universal prime energy on the outside. What is the biggest about universal prime energy? It is universal prime energy of true love. If you have this universal prime energy of true love, you can occupy the whole world and even God. That's why you see this diagram, the original external form, okay? And then original internal character. So universal prime energy, externally, we can see, appear as external energy. Then what's the internal energy and internal power of the universal prime energy? That is God's heart and that is God's love, my brothers and sisters. Again, I am telling you, what's the greatest power in this world? The power of love and heart. This power of love and heart come from where? From universal prime energy. So based on that, let's study Father's word. Heavenly Honey?
universal prime energy generates the power to create give and take. The core of all created things is the same. It is a system of pairs, and the power that connects those pairs is what the divine principle describes as universal prime energy. All things exist due to universal prime energy, centered on God's dual characteristics. By pulling just one hair from your head, you can understand that along with universal prime energy, there exists a reciprocal plus and minus relationship.
Yeah. True Father said that the core of all things is a pair system. The dual system means subject and object. Therefore, the power is needed to connect the subject and object, and that is the universal prime energy. The universal prime energy that comes from God becomes a power that causes give and take action. Therefore, for a smooth give and take action, one must inherit universal prime energy, which is the driving force of true love that comes from God. Continue.
Even if you say the world is at a low level, everything in the world resembles God. This is why the principle states universal prime energy generates the power to create, give, and take. Universal prime energy does not change.
Yeah. When I understand about the meaning of the universal prime energy, I am so excited. You know, I am moving here and there. I need to have a power and energy. This energy is a universal prime energy. When I even laughing, I need to have energy. This is universal prime energy. You know, when I eating something, I need to have energy. This is universal prime energy. Speaking, walking, drinking, moving here and there. Every moment, I need to have universal prime energy. This energy comes from where? Comes from heaven. However, when your universal prime energy connect to Heavenly Father directly, then you can have the vertical power. Your universal prime energy, straightly connect to Heavenly Parents, you can feel God's love. That's why Father saying, what's the greatest universal prime energy? That is the power of true love. Externally, we can say that universal prime energy. Internally, we say that this is the power of true love. It is really incredible guidance by our true parents. Today's youth ministry, Moses and his faith and journey. And today I'd like to talk about the significance behind Moses' 3 miracles. Next, let's study about Moses' 3 miracles: the staff, the hands, and the river. For the first miracle, the staff became a serpent. For the second miracle, Moses' hands became the leprous. And for the third miracle, the river turned to the blood. By showing these 3 miracles to Moses, God was attempting to strengthen Moses' conviction in his faith. However, until now, we have not truly understood the significance of these 3 miracles. If we understand the purpose of creation, we can now understand that the 3 miracles refer to the restoration of the family. The staff symbolizes Adam, the hands symbolize Eve, and the river turning to the blood is a separation from fallen beings. In other words, the restoration of God's children. Through the purpose of creation, we now know that God showed these miracles centered on restoration of the family by restoring Adam and Eve and their children. All the events and contents of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation are symbolic. Most of the content is symbolic. But you should know that they are all directly related to the principle of creation. Therefore, when dealing with any event in the Bible, we should not move on to just one symbolic event or the event of that time. Old Testament era already gone, New Testament era already gone, and then Adam already died, and then Abraham and Moses and all central figures already gone away. Nothing deal with me. I just want to focus on our true parents' providence. It is not like that. Everything connected together. What's the purpose of the Old Testament era and New Testament era and Complete Testament era? Everything connect together, to accomplish purpose of God's creation. Everything relate to. That's why we need to study Bible. Even though there's a lot of symbolic content, this one relate to my life, not just only temporarily, relate to my eternal life as well. What we need to know is that God's providence, whether symbolic or substantial, has meaning, and that God is providing it with a specific plan. All the content of the Bible ultimately centered on God's principle of creation and has each purpose in realizing God's purpose of creation. Just now I explained to you. The principle concealed within God's three miracles. Therefore, we should consider that the principle is also concealed with symbology presented to us in our dreams. Because God is eternal being, He manifested His laws for the sake of one's eternal life and for eternity. Today, our goal is to first understand that concealed within the symbol is the essential point of eternity. We must not forget that when God is trying to teach us through such symbolic dreams or symbolic providence, the principle of His unchanging characteristic is inherent. Very, very important, my brothers and sisters. That's why when I study Bible, I learn all kinds of the wisdom. Old Testament era, New Testament era, we are now talking about the complete Testament era. What is the purpose of all the past era? For what? How can we become true children? How can we become true brothers and sisters? How can we become true husband and wife? How can we become true parents? That's it. That is everything. Everything, main purpose to restore God's original plan. What is God's original plan? God's original plan is to establish an ideal family. How to establish an ideal family? Centering on four main things. How to become true children. How to become true brothers and sisters. How to become true husband and wife. How to become true parents. That's why the four major truths of truth is what? These are four things. Everybody become true parents, true husband and wife, true brothers and sisters, true children. Then God's providence is over. Just extend and become tribal level, and become national level and worldwide level. That's why purpose of the Bible is really just one goal. How to establish ideal family, centering on four major goals. That's why without exception, needs to establish ideal family. What is the purpose of my life? How can I become true filial sons and daughters? How can I really build up really true brothers and sisters relations in the family? I truly love my older brother, younger brother, older sister, younger sister, and then go out from the home. I can treat all mankind as my own brothers and sisters. Right? And then one man, woman come together, become true husband and wife. And from there, true blood religion comes out, true life comes out, right? True love comes out. Wow. Even though there are many, many symbolic content, but actually all content connect to principle of creation, purpose of God's creation. You know, everything relate to my daily life and my eternal life. Moreover, today should not just be another day, but it should be one filled with a perspective of the connection and eternity. We tend to think that events are temporary, yet even temporary events are inherently eternal and have eternal significance. We must know that this moment is what? Eternity. This is very, very important. Many people just waste time. When I was in Korean UTS, I was so shocked when I hear Rev.Chung guidance. He said, he emphasized over and over again and again. Now, he said, now is eternity. That's why don't waste your time. Now is your eternity. Why you are still thinking your past struggles? This is really coming in front of time. And many people, thinking that we should think of the present as eternity. And it is a sin to think that the present is merely passing a moment. And I do not invest much. I do not put my sincerity. That is a sin. There is no such a thing as a temporary in eternal life. Because of the moment is connected with eternity. Therefore, wasting the time given now is committing great crime. Through the time now given to me, I have to perfect my spiritual body, and I am responsible for completing my family. Therefore, do not sin before time. Do not think my time is just only temporary. There are a lot of time. Do not think that way. Each moment, each second, each hour, eternity. Connect to eternity. That's why really I put almost my sincerity. And then I need to do all my best. And I do something. I need to focus on something. Here, what I'm doing, I need to focus on here. And then you think the other way, struggling, resentment, hatred, and this and that, all kinds of thinking. You cannot concentrate. This is really common sin before time. Then finally, you lose your eternity. That's why we need to know that. God give us the time. This is the time is really connect to eternity. Now is eternity. My present time is eternity. If I lose my present time, I'm losing eternity. Wow. How much important. Each second, each time. That's why you need to put really your utmost sincerity. Do not commit sin before time. You need to focus. This is God's will. God gave me this work. I need to concentrate about this. 100%, 120%. Sincerely, I need to focus on this. This is God's will. Through my investment, through my sincerity, through this way, I can complete my spiritual body. I can complete my family. My brothers and sisters. That's why we should not simply think that this is just passing by. This is no more than any other habit. This is just another tradition. We should not fall into the trap of regarding our lives as a simple and effortless. Moses did not know of this, but he did as God's commanded. Miracles occurred. He threw down his staff and it became the serpent. He held his hand to his bosom and it became leprous. He held his hand to his bosom again and it was healed. And the Nile was turned into blood. Although Moses was surprised at the result achieved by following God's commands, he was not aware of the truth behind the miracle's significance. Nevertheless, God showed Moses that there was nothing he could not do if he willed it. And after Moses refused several times, Moses finally believed. Even after meeting the Pharaoh, and Moses still tried to refuse. But in the end, his conviction grew stronger and he made his choice. Moses may not have understood what the three miracles signified, yet he would never have forgotten them. God could not tell them that he needed to restore a man and woman to give birth to true children on this earth. In this way, God could not give a direct comment to the Moses, but show him symbolically. God showed Moses how to achieve the purpose of creation on earth, but Moses did not fully understand. Because of true parents, we know what does this Bible meaning? Staff, water, what does it mean? Divine principle is really, really clearly guide us. Now we know God's circumstance. We realize that everything God has done in the Holy Scriptures must continue to be carried out and accomplished today. That's why, my brothers and sisters, past also very important. Past. God's restoration course. Why the past is so important? The purpose of the past is I am the one who need to inherit from past, and then no failure. I can get wisdom through the past. This central figure is like that, and that central figure was like that, what fail and success, and I learned everything clearly from past. That's why do not ignore past. Need to learn, need to inherit. And then present is what? After inheritance, and then I need to focus and develop and then multiply. And finally, achieve our goal. So recently I'm talking about Adam's family, Noah's family, Abraham's family, Jacob's family, Joseph's family. Recently I'm talking about Moses' family. We can learn great lesson, my brothers and sisters. And then I'm continuously talking about the Moses curse. We also learn many things from him through his failure, his great success, his leadership. My brothers and sisters, we really humble down, not only judge our central figures, really humble down. Everybody is my teacher. We need to have that kind of humble attitude to learn from anyone, from the nature, from the past, from central figures, rather than the judgment. My brothers and sisters, today, one thing I ask you to remember. My present time is eternity. If I lose this moment, my current time you will lose your eternity. In my dictionary, in your dictionary, does not exist the word of temporary. Everything connect to eternity. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Yong. Now is eternity. Now is eternity. Everything we do today affects everything that is going to be. So, brothers and sisters, I hope you got something out of this. Dr. Yong is the gift that keeps on giving. He's changed the lives of people around. So this is probably the best Christmas gift we could have asked for. And now let's take the next few minutes sharing with each other anything you gain from today's morning devotion. Then we'll come back to share with one another. We'll see you all in 7 minutes. Decent progress, brothers and sisters. Welcome back from your breakouts. I hope you had wonderful sharing. Today was an amazing message. I had a wonderful time one-on-one with Andrea Thaman. So I'd like to call on you to share with us your reflection from today's morning devotion.
Yeah, so we were having a nice discussion about universal prime energy and how, the science is really stopping short of recognizing the existence of God. When they recognize that, and there is an energy there, but they can't really explain what is this energy that's contained in everything, right? So hopefully we were talking about, hopefully science will be able to really come to recognize the existence of God and help so many people kind of, recognize it as well. I was also talking to Santa that, I was a bit torn between listening to the message and reading the chat. So my condolences to the Star family. And I really feel for you, and we're praying for a smooth transition of our dear brother and Reverend Star to the spirit world. So yeah, that's my reflection.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for sharing with us this morning. And next, I'd like to call on, I see him there with his son. I think Tyler Hendricks flew all the way down. I wonder if they're listening. He's still talking, but Will Chang and Tyler Hendricks, I'd like to ask you to share with us your reflections from today's morning devotion. Maybe the little one too.
Oh goodness. Hello, brothers and sisters. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Just in terms of the setting, we're here in Canada, Toronto, Canada, and my in-laws, Dr. Hendricks, and my mother-in-law, Yong Hendricks, were able to come and stay with our family. So just as a feedback, just so grateful to have them. It's just Canada's kind of in lockdown here, so the fact that happened was so grateful. There was so much to take away from Dr. Young's speech. With respect to just his, we were just talking about it. We're talking about, sin before time. It's a very interesting statement in terms of just, being able to live in the present. I try not to really dwell on the past and have that affect you so much, especially when you need to focus. That's a really great life lesson. I was just mentioning to Dr. Hendricks, just how our movement is so different in that, even in our vocabulary, how we use the term love constantly. Love, true love this, true love that. It's unprecedented. You really don't hear it so much in other movements. My best friend is Mormon. I'm sure they talk about love all the time, but it's really imbued in all of our texts and our teachings, and the perfection of love, right? So when Dr. Young brought up, perfecting love between, children's love, and then love between your brothers and sisters, and then true love between your parents and your spouse, and I just really thinking about that and growing up my entire life and just really hearing that word all the time. True love, 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 love. It's really an amazing, unprecedented thing. So I took a lot away from that speech.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Santa. We can't wait to open all the presents you left. We really missed you. We were all sleeping, but we're glad we can see you now.
Hope you like them.
Thank you for the presents. Right, kids? Yay, yay, Santa. Okay, well, Dr. Yong really did hit, I do theology, and he hit, what he was getting at was really, really deep theology that he didn't even scratch the surface, but how we interpret the Bible and based on the principle of creation, especially the four realms of heart. And it's like a new perspective on the Bible But I feel like we could take that perspective on the Quran and the Bhagavad Gita and the Confucianist scriptures. This principle of creation sheds new light on all the world scriptures, and what we find is the same lessons in all the world scriptures, and that's how we're going to unite the world, provide a pathway for people of all faith traditions to come into that central point of the true family, centering on and receive true parents. Aju. Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a great Christmas. God bless you all.
Thank you, Dr. Hendricks, and thank you, Rev.Chung. If you don't know, Rev.Chung was one of the main editors of the video for the Blessing Fest, so maybe just give him some love. It was amazing. Amazing, wasn't it? He had so many hours put into it, a lot of investment there, so thank you. Well, all right, brothers and sisters, now on to our announcements. First of all, if you had a wonderful time here, if you were gaining anything from morning devotion, feel free to share this with anyone. Share with your friends. Send a link. If you're new here, you can go to familyfed.org, familyfed.org to learn about us, or edu.familyfed.org to learn more about this morning devotion ministry. Also, if you're feeling especially jolly this morning, there's going to be a link in the chat for you to be able to donate to support morning devotion ministries. It helped to broadcast and translate and just share this all around the world and to people around America. So if you're online, just go to edu.familyfed.org or go to the description on YouTube or Facebook, and you should be on your merry way to supporting this ministry. All right. Also, I heard just to acknowledge in the chat, our brother Gilbert passed away yesterday, and so I saw a link by Milhan about the 9 p.m. call. So, of course, if you'd like to attend, please do so. Maybe the link can be placed there once again. But now, before we go, actually, if you notice, they were a little early because we got too much hair. All right, we got a little bit of something special. We're gonna do just in the spirit of Christmas. So I see a lot of people having some nice backgrounds, some hats. We're gonna dance along just for about 30 seconds to a minute in the celebration of Christmas. So if you have a Christmas hat, or if you're dancing, you're going to be spotlighted to share in this sort of in this spirit. So the song is very simple, and it goes something like this. All right, this is the Jingle Bells Hip Hop Remix. All right, let's see some movement. All right, let's go, the Grinch Bowman family. Let's see him. That's right. Look at the balloons. That's right. Oh. Thank you all for your Christmas jingles. Thank you for celebrating this Christmas with us. I hope you had a wonderful time moving. Many moons ago, I wanted to do some kind of exercise on morning devotion, but maybe this is the closest we'll get to it. I do know and I do see people running on treadmills and doing sit-ups during morning devotion, so feel free to do that as well. I'm sure it'll be great for your health and your spiritual health as well. So now on to our musical offering for today. It's very special. I heard that he had asked many months ago to perform on this day, so he's been really anticipating this Christmas day. So I'd like to invite up from, I believe, somewhere in New Jersey, Christopher Bush. Christopher Bush. My cap fell, actually. You see it in the comments.
Hello, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I'm sure Santa was good to all of you. Most of us are ready to open our presents from Santa. And Santa, I don't know how you do it. You did all of your deliveries, and you still made it in time for morning devotion. Thank you so much for all that effort. So, and but now that we received our spiritual present from Dr. Yong, our spiritual, which has opened up our hearts, we're ready to open up our presents, right? So. And as you likely know, the tradition of Santa Claus comes from the Saint Nicholas, who, among many accomplishments, is known for having given gifts secretively. And sorry. Oh yeah, I really did want to acknowledge Gilbert Starr. He was a gift to all of us as well. I was so sad to hear that he didn't survive the battle with whatever. I think it was COVID. I'm not sure, but anyway. Anyway, among the anyway, the one thing that we learned from Santa is it's kind of like it's a fun thing, but we learned the heart of true parents, the heart that they embodied was to give, forget that you have given, and wish that you could give more. That's the essence of true love. And today's message, that this moment is a gift. That's why we call it the present. So Saint Nicholas was regarded as the patron saint of sailors, merchants, archers, repentant thieves, children, brewers, pawnbrokers, unmarried people, and students. That's according to Wikipedia. Translated in modern terminology, he was sounds like Dr. Yong. Dr. Yong is our modern day Saint Nicholas. Anyway, the song that is going to be shared, it's a recording of me singing as a baritone in a barbershop quartet. The song was featured in a movie called A Muppet's Christmas, Letters to Santa, composed by Chris Caswell, the profound lyrics written by Paul Williams, and it was sung by Gonzo and Fozzie Bear in the movie. So the song's name is I Wish I Could Be Santa Claus. So please enjoy.
I wish I could be Santa Claus for just one day, one day. I'd fill a bag with kindness and I'd give it all away. I'd make the world a better place, I'd do that if I could. I love the way it feels inside when I do something good. I wish I could be Santa Claus. Imagine that. Although I could not fill his boots, I'd look great in his hat. I'd love the milk and cookies, and one more thing I'd do. I'd try to teach the kids to be a little more like you. We know that love, yes, love can bless the heart when tears begin to fall. We know that love is the message of the season, the greatest gift, and yes, one size fits all. I I wish we could be Santa Claus. Perhaps we can. The job's about the giving, not the suit and not the man. It's all about the caring and the part that we can play in spreading joy and peace on earth and love on Christmas Day. Spreading love. I wish I could be Santa Claus.
Wow! Amazing! That was so beautiful! Don't worry, you can be just like me, Christopher, you and your barbershop quartet and everyone else. Thank you so much for offering such a beautiful song today. Oh my goodness. Wow. And so, moving on, actually, before we go into closing prayer, I just want to say today is the last day of Yasutaka MC morning devotion. From tomorrow, we will have Resfred MC. So thank you all. Let's show some love to Yasu for being such a great MC for the past 13 days. All right, so on to our closing prayer. I got some little birdie telling me that someone wanted to pray, and that is from the Grinch family. I'd like to invite, oh, he has a nice hoodie on, Wanjin Bowman. Wanjin Bowman.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, little Bowman.
Ready? Please join me in prayer, everyone. Heavenly parents, thank you for this wonderful day. I'm grateful I could steal the reindeers from basically Santa's like sleigh. I'm not giving them back. They're mine. I'm going to keep them forever. It's going to be great. I pray that we can all enjoy this wonderful festive Christmas season together with all the families that we have, all the people that have gone and transitioned next door. We know that they're looking down on us, loving us, and thinking about us, and us thinking about them. But let our love always be there with us, for them, and everyone that is around us. Please let us always know that basically, too, this is a representation of Jesus' birthday. And he was the one that basically gave his mission on to true father and to true parents. He didn't do it lightly. He didn't want to basically fail in his first beginnings. He wanted to succeed in every aspect, but he was unable to do that. And he was able to pass it on to true parents so that they could fulfill what he could not. I hope that we can continue on that lineage. I hope we can continue on what they started together here with us each and every single day that we live our lives, and with each next generation making this world a better place. I pray this name, Wanjin Jackson Bowman, Han Elizabeth Bowman, blessed your family. Aju.
Aju. Thank you so much, Wanjin and Hanmi, for attending morning devotion every day. Thank you all. It's been more than a year. It's been 426 days of morning devotion, and it's Christmas time. I believe this is our second Christmas, and many more to come in morning devotion. So with that said, thank you all for joining, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Merry Christmas. Bye-bye, everyone. Ho, ho, ho!